Welcome to HardwareFX.com. My name is Jason, and I am the lead reviewer for HardwareFX.com. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Behringer X1204 USB mixer. Now this is the same mixer that I use for my weekly radio show, Geek Out Weekly. It's all set up, and we're going to get to that here in just a minute, but I wanted to go over everything that comes actually with it. You know, obviously you get the box. It looks smaller than I thought. The board is quite tiny. You'll see here in a minute. But powerful board. I'll get to that too. What you get inside of it, you get the contact information. This is always good in case something goes wrong. Now, some people say Behringer stuff is not the highest quality. I disagree. I've owned many Behringer products. I'm using a Behringer board with a MDX 4600 compressor gate limiter system. I've never had a problem with them. I've owned pretty much every board they've had, all the way from the 802 to the SFX 2442 big honkin' 24 channel. I've had the 16 channel. I've had the other 24 channel that they've had. I've owned many of them. I've never had a problem. I've never had to send them back. So cross my fingers. Maybe I'm just lucky, but I love their stuff. And some people see it as entry level. I don't. I see it as good quality gear. So something else you get, my personal favorite, you get a sticker. And then you get a catalog. This has all the cool other stuff that you can get from Behringer. And they make a lot of stuff. A lot of people don't realize how much stuff Behringer actually makes. And of course, you get your quick start guide on how to hook everything up, the basics and everything like that. Make sure you read this. There's some good stuff in there. And then, of course, last, you get the software. And you can also download the drivers and software from the website, but sometimes it's better just to have that. If you're running Windows 7, I didn't actually use these. Windows 7 just picked it up right away when I plugged it in. If you're running XP, then I would suggest installing the drivers. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do some Final Cut magic, and we're going to go to the actual mixing board, and we'll take a closer look at that. All right, here you can see the Behringer X1204 USB mixer. A couple of things. This is a 12-input 2x2 analog mixer with built-in USB audio interface. It has 4 phantom-powered mic preamps, and of course 4 studio-grade compressors with LED indicator. Starting at the top, you have your 4 Xlr inputs. You can also have 1/4 line in if you don't want to use XLR mics. Or if you want to run, say, bumpers or music and something else that's not XLR, you can still use that channel. It has your gain up here, has your low bypass filter up here. If something's a little too bassy, you can cut it, cuts down the bass, or of course you can just EQ it with your highs, your mids, or your lows. This is FX, this is FXN, and this is AUXIN. And of course there's your pan, and then of course you can mute or unmute your channels. The faders are nice. I mean, they're basically the same faders on any Behringer. I believe these are 60 millimeter faders. I could be wrong about that. I'm sure Mike will tell me if I'm wrong. This is an all output. This is not a subgroup. I will tell you that now. This is not a subgroup. I do use this for in-house monitors, so when I go to commercial break, I can pot these up, and I can hear everything going on. I can take my headset off. I can still have conversations with guests, but I can still hear my bumpers and my commercials run. So that was kind of a cool thing. I like that, but I really wish it would have had a subgroup. Of course, this is your main mix. I have it kicked all the way up because I have it set differently with my audio interface. Of course, over here you have your FXN and AUXINs, like I said. You have one of each. Now, you can use the FXN as another AUXIN. I will be doing a video about that, so look for that later on the YouTube channel and the website, HardwareFX.com. Up here you have your compressor. This is the built-on one. It does have an LED indicator next to each one of the channels. This is when it kicks on, it'll light up and say, hey, I'm compressing the signal, I'm boosting the signal, so you know what's going on there. It does have 24-bit processing. I don't use any of this, but it is nice to have, especially if you're doing like music recording and stuff like that. It's got built-in reverb, all kinds of stuff. British Classic EQ right there. Headphones. This is the only thing I kind of had a gripe about. Was it only has one headphone jack, and I used to have a 16-channel Behringer that had 2, so then I have to run this into a headphone amp, and then of course out. I only have one other co-host in studio, so it's not too bad. And of course this is my AUXIN out, and then FXN is this white cable, and I'm using analog out. I'm not using the digital because of my setup. It's better for me to go out into my audio interface. And of course, everyone's going to ask me what this white wire is, and I will go over that in another video in a tour for that. Of course, you have your line in ports you have over here. Now, these aren't XLR. These are just the line ins. These are 1/8, and then you have a +10 or -10 switch here to kick up the volume if you need to. This is to control your aux in and your FX in, what signal is being sent to it. This is the stereo aux in. Now it does have, back here, it does have a stereo return auxiliary for anything you want to run into that, or effects processors that you want to run into that. This board has everything that the big boards do in a small package. I mean, this board is fairly small. I'm not a big guy. I'm 5'8", 5'9", and you know, my hand is not that big. So you can see it's not a very big board. I had a 24 channel board, and it was huge. I mean, it literally took up like my whole desk. So, I mean, this is perfect for podcasters who are getting into it. So let's go ahead and kick it back over to me, and we'll wrap this up. That is a closer look at the Behringer X1204 USB mixer. I can't say enough nice things about this mixer. I absolutely love it. It's been perfect for what I had to do. I'm kind of outgrowing it now, so I'm going to be looking at getting a bigger one. But if you're doing any kind of internet broadcasting or any kind of music recording and stuff like that, this is a perfect mixer to start out with. It's around $199 to $239, brand new. Just kind of shop around, see what kind of deals you can get. But for the price and everything that comes with it, you won't beat it. Big thanks to Behringer for sponsoring the review and sending it out. Those guys have been great to me. They've followed me wherever I go. So big thanks to them. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/HardwareFX. We got Facebook, facebook.com/HardwareFX. Of course, you can go to our website, HardwareFX.com. And don't forget, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/HardwareFX. My name is Jason, and we'll see you next time for another review here on HardwareFX.com.